Absolutely, and Shido will probably pitch in. I never miss these because I love doing it, but I've got duty calls. You know how
Seat
it is.
calls.
Yeah, no worries. We can keep it up if we have some interest. We will see, I guess.
Yeah, so I can't do the management because of the Twitter issue today. So Josh, you're on the boards in terms of accepting and deleting and all that. But by all means, someone want to put up their hand and talk about it, it'd be great. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm looking at. Got a couple things on the go OTC wise. I've got a kind of underground one I'm working on, this ARRT. I noticed this was getting bought up the other day, I think Thursday or Friday last week, and really couldn't find a reason for it. But setup wise, it's just unbelievable. 500,000 floating, no selling. I mean, getting shares is very, very, very difficult. But it just, I don't know, when I saw the action on it the other day, I thought that there's obviously something is up behind the scenes. So I have some of that, and we'll see where it goes. Outside of that, it has been tough, I'll be honest with you. How are you feeling about it, Cheeto?
About the ARRT?
The whole scene, I was saying it's been a bit tough as of late.
Oh man, it has been really tough. It has been incredibly quiet, in my opinion, the last few weeks. Really quiet for the fact that it's still May and not really summer yet. Reminds me more a little bit of August right now. I don't know how you see it, but yeah, there is not much going on. I mean, at least the last few days we have not seen like widespread selling and dumping everywhere. You know, that's already good, I guess. But we have just seen nothing happening. Basically, I mean, I've rarely been this bored on the trading side, which I usually am not because I hold so many stocks at the same time and I trade so many. So I'm usually always busy, but last few days were unbelievable. You probably agree on this.
Yeah, it's been interesting for the energy, and then and then I've seen some stocks that I was surprised to see being bought, like the RDAR, the bullying app stock, and a few other things that I was a little bit surprised at as to why they were getting volume. I didn't really know, and unfortunately, the outcome has not been great for the buyers of some of these. So I'm really obviously OTC trading's my first love, and am obviously looking to always find the next big thing. But I found it tough to break through, and it used to be if you said that, someone would pop up with a tweet like, "Well, it's easy for me. Guess you're a loser," But now, like, right?
You take that personal.
But now, I mean, it seems like people are kind of all saying, "Hey, where's the breakthrough?" You know what I mean? And that's really what I'm looking for, and still picking away at for sure. And it will come, but been tough work for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it would be great if people have some ideas or want to spitball with some different ideas, or something even that they just a setup they love. Be nice to put it on some radars and get folks keen on keeping an eye on them, because I think that's ultimately the way we build it. And one of the ways retail gets ahead is to find a way to get excited about things that aren't being advertised. You know what I mean? Like, you think about GameStop. I mean, they select the game. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So so what about SCGY? Because Scientific Energy, it's a really awkward looking chart, but it's hard pressed to find red days on that chart.
Let's take a look. Yeah.
Has little spikes in volume here and there, and it's just like chunky climbing.
It's funny when you look at the held at DTC count and stuff like that. It would be, but man, it's been rocking. Jeez Louise. See, that's the type of thing. And and what's so funny
It's under
about
the
it,
radar.
yeah, and that's like that ARRT as well. I'll post the chart in the comments so people can see it. But that's kind of the thing where, we're going to have to get a little bit more open in terms of price per share. And you can scream and complain about it all you want and say, why don't people buy this? But they're right.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do it unless they're excited about it. And you just have to, be there for it until finally there's a consensus agreement, and that's the tough part, I think, for a lot of people. And certainly for me early in my career, like if it got slow or if it got boring, then I would, go trade options or whatever and then have my account implode and then come back and have to rebuild it in the OTC, you know what I mean? And so, I've learned to be calmer about it, but certainly this is, my hands are going numb from sitting on them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there is always, it seems like, at least in the last 2 years, there is always something that diverts attention away from the OTC. Is it the option thing? Now it's the crypto thing. It was the small cap thing for a few months. And what you said, I think, is true. If you really would talk to people and they would be honest, I think that many are losing money when they go elsewhere, and then they come back at some point to the OTC. There is obviously some that make good money everywhere, and that's great. But it's not like, all the guys who suddenly did options made $1 million, But most lost money, I think, and that's the thing. We know that. I mean, actually, so.
Well, I did, and I was
many
lucky.
Others as
Yeah,
well.
and I was lucky to put a tourniquet on the limb,
Yeah.
and shut her down. But as where a lot of people didn't, and we lost a lot of peers, even notable ones, and it really makes me quite sad to think about.
Yeah, and you mostly hear about the success stories out there, and not about the failures. Obviously, I mean, it's everybody is the same like this. I don't post my biggest losers either. I mean, nobody does this, so that's why it's always a little bit misleading if you just read the success stories. But yeah, it's not that easy to just go there and then go options and then go small caps and do well everywhere. I mean, I don't think it's that easy. But I can see that the OTC right now, that many ask themselves why they are here, and I still hope that if the macro picture gets better again, we get the rate cuts, we get some more risk money in there, maybe it trickles down to the OTC again. I have no idea how the crypto stuff is how much is really the crypto stuff is impacting the OTC right now. It feels like a lot. I don't know how it will be in a few months.
Yeah, it's tough to say, like, because I think you're right in a way. Is it impacting it a lot? Yes, but um, why did they feel the need to go do it? And that's the question.
Yeah,
Because I'll tell you, I
absolutely.
quit my job downtown. Well, I was fired for doing this. Let's be honest. Uh, but I left it. I knew it was coming. To make OTC method and to be OTC method. So, if someone were to press me and say, hey, uh, like I never would have wanted to change anything. I figured I finally was set, and I think a lot of people feel that way. And when you hear from companies that are, we went through it with a few recently that are, we're going to take care of you and stuff like that, and can't even, lay off the tap for a month. um, to me, I feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot, because the day that a company comes forward and says, okay, this is what we got, this is exactly how much is going to come into the market, this is the time frame, and this is how it's going to go. Like, the second a company just opens the books
Yeah.
and works with people, they'll have the people would give everything to them.
No, I
Yeah, I
think they're
agree.
so scared to do that. But honestly, if you have investors and shareholders that believe in the company, you'll find that a lot more than you would expect. They'll work together. Like if somebody's going to convert 200,000 shares of a 5-cent stock, I mean, that could hurt the stock. It's definitely going to dilute it a little bit. But if they knew that ahead of time, there's a few people that would get together and probably soak up that stock so that the stock isn't being hurt. And
Exactly.
they'd be able to tighten up the flows. I mean, and that's only because they care about the company, not because they're trying to manipulate the market. So I think the transparency really is the key. And I'm indirectly saying that on purpose because what we may see shortly is a group of individuals come together to start exposing these things, providing that type of transparency, providing value ratings and analysis on OTC stocks. And I believe it's going to be eaten up like candy to all the people that have tasted the crypto markets and found out they can't trade 24/7. It's driving them nuts. I believe we're going to see some change here shortly in the OTC arena. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there is really, really, really something special to be said about the lifestyle of being an OTC trader, and that was one of the most special parts for me, is outside of dipsticks tweeting or whatever, bashing in their tweets or whatever. At the end of the day, it was closed, and you could have a life, and you could spend time with your family, and now with New York Stock Exchange talking about 24-hour trading, I mean, it just feels like for regular folk who are grown and have jobs and have lives and commute and do all these different things, we really need the OTC more than ever, and I'm hopeful that we'll turn the corner here soon.
I believe we will. I heard a rumor that there's a group of guys that are planning to head the charge, so we'll see if they come forward and how that works out.
Sweet.
That's good.
Did anybody in this room see what was going on with BMXI? I mean, they traded over $200,000 worth of stock today, and they're up 40%. And you have Alex Sunderland commenting on BMXI that it's getting in the same place that SDRC is. I think that's an interesting conversation.
It's
Yeah.
decent. I believe that BMXI is a real company. I don't have any question about it. And one of these days, they're gonna finally let go. Like, if you look at that chart, there's a lot of selling, and when you are a real company, unfortunately, you have to convert debt. I understand it, but I've always felt that one of these days they're gonna let go, and maybe it's soon. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If you remember, I pitched it last week here in the spaces, and mainly because it has catalysts coming up, like the audit that is overdue for a long time, but it always takes forever, and some of the other stuff. I mean, the spin-off they're gonna do, and the agreement they have redone with the mine in Indonesia, that they can get more cash flow out of it. So all that stuff will help if they deliver. Then this has made good moves in the past, and this can make another good move from here for sure.
Well, that's what people are saying. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
See if they can get out from under that toxic debt. I mean, when there's a group of people that come together and try to help companies get out of the toxic debt they're in, we can see some huge runners. Because I know there's a ton of stocks that people are stuck in that just wish the bleeding would stop. And if they
Yeah.
saw light
I
at the
know.
end of the tunnel, they get back into buying the stock, you know? Have you guys followed anything with BLIS?
They're going to do a reverse split.
Why is it running up before a reverse split?
I mean, it's just who knows. I don't understand it because I would have bought it.
It was a 005
Yeah.
February, beginning of February. Now stock's trading at almost 4 cents a share right now.
Yeah, and they have a merger. It's with a Native American thing. They have listen to this. They have guns that can shoot around corners, and
What?
they do construction.
How do those two merge together? I'm just curious.
Are you at this point? Are you still asking the question? I mean, this is. But they said as part of their reverse merger, they will be doing a reverse split. And so it's a little bit strange, but it's only 1 for 6. So maybe people just figure they don't care.
They don't even have that
Yeah.
much stock out. Their authorized is only 200 million.
Yeah, the
I
small
don't
reverse
fully
splits.
understand it.
Yeah, sometimes people are okay with these.
Okay, guys, I'm going to prepare. So I'm sorry I'll miss the rest, but thanks for having me on, and we'll talk soon. And thanks all for attending, and keep it going, guys.
Definitely. Hey, good luck with C.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, with Bellis Corporation, Shido. They must be positioning for some listing or something like that, because if they only have 200 million authorized, only 45 million held at DTC, so they've got a tight float.
Yeah.
What's 1 for 6 bring their capital structure to?
What do you mean, the OS or?
No, I'm doing the math. Hold on.
What do you mean? I mean, for an uplisting to the Nasdaq, it's way too less 1 for 6 because they would still be at 25 cents or something on the stock price. So that's
They'll
not
have
enough.
33.33 million authorized after the reverse.
Outstanding, you mean? Because they probably won't RS the authorized. Usually these guys.
Oh, well, then that's a
don't-
different figure, 168.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And that's the problem with the reverse splits usually.
28 million.
Almost no companies reverse split the authorized as well. If they do, then it's great because then basically nothing changed in the share structure in the relative. But they all obviously they leave the A as it is, and they reverse split the OS. So that's the main problem.
It's almost like playing shoots and ladders and getting shoved back to the beginning. You're still in the game, though.
Yeah.
Well, that'll bring their outstanding to 28,100,000. That's pretty reasonable. I mean, I'm not sure. Where does that take the float? Let me see.
7.5.
Yeah, that's going to be one tight float. I mean, that to me says that they're looking to go for a listing.
Yeah, but then they have to do some work because if it opens at 25 or 30 cents after the split, I don't know when they will do it. They have a lot of work to go to $4, you know?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Where's their number? I don't even see where they have listed the number of shareholders in the company. I don't see that at all. Well, good luck to them. We'll see how that works out for them.
Man, FLES is a disappointment. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They made the whole standstill deal for like 6 months or something. And during the first 3 months, there is non-stop selling from the guys who got incentive shares to do the standstill deal. I don't know how this makes even sense. No? I mean, there will be non-stop selling now for the next 6 months, and then the standstill is expiring. And what's next? Man, this is really disappointing. I expected so much more out of them.
Well, we all know this. You don't become a public company without trying to raise capital for the deals you have going. And if they're trying to raise capital to promote and market the auto parts for less segment and build that business up to where there's substantial revenue coming on a quarterly basis, then that would make sense. But they should disclose that. I mean, have you heard any podcasts from Chris Davenport? I know he said he was going to start doing a weekly podcast. Any update on that?
I didn't listen to the last one. I think he did the first one on Sunday. I mean, we all knew that they have a lot of debt, but they worked to stand still the big debt for a long time and to convert into preferreds, which was all perfect, and the plan was perfect. And then they had to give out like huge incentive shares, it seems, and these guys just nonstop sold, and the third note holder had way more than anybody expected, and that's why we are in the situation right now.
Well, I got a stock to bring up. Did anybody follow Global Clean Energy Inc., GCEI? It was only up 23%, but they traded a reasonable amount. Their chart seems to be setting up for a nice uptick, and I hope it continues the trend, but I don't know anything about the company personally.
What's the symbol?
GCEI. Trading at 7 cents a share.
Yeah, I never followed this one, to be honest.
Wow, I found a stock you haven't followed. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. There's not too many tickers out there but this one, I don't know anything about this one.
Their share structure is, I don't know. I mean, it's not a bloated pig, but it's got 292 million in the float.
Mm.
They only have 750 million authorized, and they're nearing that ceiling. They got 581 million outstanding. But they got almost 600 shareholders.
Mm.
Well, I'm going to tout one that I've been telling people about since, I don't know, it was like $2.14 a share when I mentioned it. But GMGI is knocking at the door of $5 a share. And I think when they break through that $5 resistance mark is going to be seeing a nice run. It's still undervalued. I mean, if you look at the chart, it's setting up nicely. I mean, what was it? So half a month ago, the stock was at 246. Now it closed at 492.
Yeah, it was a beauty.
And it's still got a lot of room. The volume has picked up. It's trading over 150,000 shares a day now. You can see that on the volume indicator on the chart. It's starting to come to life, people. I mean, I know that based on the acquisitions they just made, the stock's undervalued still. It's got some room to breathe. It's trading at a very low multiple, and it's profitable. It doesn't have debt. It doesn't have anything holding it back. Now they're a small cap stock. I mean, heck, their market cap alone at this present moment is over $500 million, and they're trading at under $5 a share at this present moment. So I know it's not a micro cap or a penny stock, but
yeah,
good chance you'll make some money here over the next few months if you want a more conservative play.
Mm-hmm.
I had to close out my day talking about my favorite stock, GMGI. Guys, I guess we're going to call it for the day. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I know the OTC is quiet, but I want to give you hope. There is a group of guys, I'm one of them, that is putting together what we believe is the answer to bringing back liquidity to OTC markets, providing analyst coverage to penny stocks, being able to give a reasonable valuation, a rating for penny stocks based on set criteria that's completely unbiased and not able to be swayed, based on their revenue, based on their share structure, the executive leadership, based on the number of products they have in the market, their reach and visibility, and even coming up with a social score to the companies based on their amount of efforts in IR and communications with their shareholders and investors. So I'm looking forward to a lot more content coming your way, a lot more interaction on people being able to get the due diligence they need. Guys, you have a lot to look forward to here in the near future. But for tonight, Thanks for joining OTC Stock Talk. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for being part of the community. Go follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We'll have up a replay of this Q&A and the open mic tomorrow for everybody to check out. We'll stay in contact. Till then, have a great night, guys.